Hey, what's up?
All right, we're being recorded. My name is Dan, and who are you?
Mike Howard.
All right, so yeah, I posted, I made the other video public, so hopefully we get a lot of views. So hey, I don't know if you want to talk about what we were talking about earlier, if you want to change the subjects. This might be a shorter clip, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I'll let you decide. What are you in the mood for?
What was last time? Suicide?
Well, that's the one that I don't think it's necessarily recorded, but I think we were talking about this time, maybe talking about suicide and death. If you just want to throw a couple thoughts out there, why you think people are against it, and if you think some of it's bullshit or if you think it makes sense, and what examples you could think of and how you think it's represented in movies.
I think it's represented pretty accurate in today's movies. I think certain people don't believe in it, not because of BS, it's because of their certain beliefs or religions that they stand by. How I feel about it, I think suicide, it's like I said earlier, or not earlier, but like I said in the previous
conversation.
It's like abortion, so I feel like it's literally an individual choice. Despite that, I'm a Christian, and another Christian belief is if you commit suicide, your soul goes to hell. But I still stand by that it's up to individual. I think we had a discussion too, like if I had a child, he or she was 9 years old and was in pain, that I not necessarily would do it, but I would think about it. If my child asked me to end their life, it would be a thought. It would be,
like if you thought there was no cure and they were going to die soon, or what situation?
It has to be it has to be really extreme situation.
Yeah.
So,
well, what's interesting is I wonder if a right to death should be in the U.S. Constitution, or do you think each state should kind of decide on its own?
I think it should be a right in the Constitution.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. The ACLU is trying to push some stuff about assisted suicide. Now, there's different situations. There's, if you're 85 years old or 50 years old and you're chronic pain, you can barely sleep, and there's no cure in sight. But I think it is different if it's a child. I think it does make it a little more complicated. But now there's a different situation that's not necessarily suicide. Some people call it murder. It's called infanticide, where if there is a baby, and let's say somehow you know that this baby is not going to live that long, is in a lot of pain and has a lot of disabilities, might it be okay to kill the baby? And then some people say, no, you can't do that. It's just a baby. Like, the baby doesn't have any say in it. But then some people flip it and say, well, why is it okay to keep the baby alive? And I think Peter Singer, I'm showing off again, I'm trying to name some names, but the philosopher Peter Singer, I think he brings this up as a question. He might even have some opinions on it, but I don't want to misspeak in terms of I don't want to misquote him. So what about like an example like that, where it's like a newborn baby and they know that it has all these issues and it's maybe going to live like 6 months maximum? What do you think? I don't know what do you think about that? Like, what are your thoughts?
Again, all that has to depend on your religion.
If it's your kid, would you think about it, or would you not even think about it?
No, I would think about it. Like I said, I would definitely think about it. It depends how bad the situation is. So.
Right. Do you think, what is it about death? I mean, maybe the answer is obvious, but what is it about death that people don't like?
I think what scares people about death is that it's what do you think? That it's inevitable. Right?
It's unavoidable. It's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. And is the death part is it scare people because they don't know what's going to happen, or because they think, oh, I do know, and like maybe I'll go to hell, or maybe there's nothingness, or maybe they'll be reborn. Like what is the fear?
I think just they don't have the control of when they're gonna die. I think it's more so of control. I don't think it's more so of what's gonna happen after the fact of you dying. I think it's more so that we don't have control of it.
Well, that's interesting. So suicide might play into that, or it gives people control, or they go out on their own terms or something.
Right.
We talked about this before. I don't think the recording worked. That's why we're talking now, and hopefully this one does. What did you think about the Clint Eastwood, it's called $1 Million Baby, right?
Right.
What did you think of that whole assisted suicide part? Do you think it worked with the movie? Do you think, did you like the way it was done? Or what do you remember or think about that?
Yeah, it was pretty well directed. And the very end, when she wanted her coach to pull the plug, he did. And I think that's a perfect example of that individual choice. And I think she had the right to make that decision. And the coach followed through with her decision.
Right.
So,
right.
I think that was pretty good. I mean, as far as just a person's choice, I think that there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
In my opinion.
If we were to make laws about right to death, right to assisted suicide, what kind of safeguards do you think we should have in place to make sure that people aren't just saying, "Oh, he wanted me to kill him. Oh, this, that." Like how do we protect people from a wrongful death situation?
What people are we protecting?
Wait, say it again.
What people are we protecting? When you say
let's say I don't want to die, but there's a doctor who doesn't like me, and he said, "Oh no, he wanted to die." So what kind of safeguards do we have in place to prevent a bad actor from lying and saying, "Oh no, he wanted to die," but it turned out the person didn't want to die? So do we only let people do assisted suicide or suicide if they have a health condition, or could a teenager who's in a bad mood just say, "Yeah, I want to end my life"? What do you think the law should be about that?
I don't know. Isn't there a law about that now? That could easily happen right now. I could easily say I want to be alive, and my doctor says, "Oh no," right? Or no.
Well, what do you think? What do you think it should be? What would make you be happy? I know there's no perfect system, but what do you think the system should be?
I guess a signature. The person needs at least a signature. So a doctor could say, "Oh, you're not fit to live" or whatever. But I think that individual needs to have at least a signature to sign off. So to prove that he or she wanted her life to end.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because today they do have things where it's ahead of time. If people get older, they say, "Hey," and then they name someone else. They say, "Hey, I'm telling a lawyer, I'm telling power of attorney, ahead of time, if I'm in a situation where I need, you to do a certain surgery or a certain type of breathing tube, just don't do it." Or they have the do not resuscitate thing. So some people almost plan the situation, what it would be. Can you think of any other movies with suicide or assisted suicide? I can't even think right now about.
The movie Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my gosh, you're right. He gets back out, and it's a new world to him. And now, what is that? I mean, I know he has a job where he feels like he's not happy with his job, I guess, and the world's different. But do you think he misses his friends on the inside, or what is it exactly?
Of course, yeah. Everything, yeah. He can't cope, and he misses his friends.
Yeah.
So that's another one.
Right.
Think of another one. That's something I can really think of right now.
Now, on the flip side, what do you think? 'Cause you saw Death Becomes Her, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, unless I'm thinking of the wrong movie. It's where they create like a potion, and if you drink it, you don't die.
Oh wow.
And I think Bruce Willis plays the guy in it. And I don't know if, gosh, I don't even want to say the wrong actresses, but then it shows how they regret it because it shows them like being injured and this and that, but they can't die. Death Becomes Her. I think that's the name of it. But anyways,
I never heard of that.
Yeah. So anyways, tell me about your plans for going to the gym, and if it has to do with living a longer life, or why don't we talk about life a little and how that connects you going to the gym?
I went to the doctors yesterday. They stick a needle in my knee, my left knee, the knee that's been bothering me for over years. So they said hopefully that would make my knee feel better. Like I torn like a small an ACL on my knee, but it's really small. And then I torn something on the left side of my knee. So I went to the doctors yesterday, and they said 5 years ago when I went to there, they said 5 years, my knee has not changed, and they are really impressed about that. Like it's still the way it is, right? So they stick a needle in, and my knee feels good right now, as they told me it would. They said in 2 weeks, call them, just let them know if it's okay, if it's better, or if it's getting worse. Hopefully it stays the same. I doubt it, though. I think it's going to go back to the normal pain again. And now I was going to go to Planet Fitness with Rob when you called me earlier, and then he couldn't because he has to take care of his nieces. So I'm going to go to the basketball gym and shoot some hoops because one of my goals this year is to play a little bit more basketball. And that's about it, what I'm doing for tonight. What about you?
Oh, gosh, I have no plans. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll listen to this, and hopefully it's post-worthy, so we'll see.
Are you working tonight?
I didn't have to work the rest of the night because it's kind of slower this time of year.
Are you guys supposed to get any snow this weekend?
We already got some snow. It's been on and off for a couple of days now. It's not that bad though, especially for here. It's just like light snow, but I don't know. Oh, you're asking about this coming weekend. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see. There's some people, they might say something like, oh, if I couldn't skate or play basketball or dance or sing, or if I couldn't see this person, like I would die or I would kill myself or something like that. But then sometimes there's issues of responsibility. Like you talked about religious issues, but there's also like, what is that person like important at work or important like father or mother or like a mentor? Does that person have like an ethical responsibility to stay alive? So it's just a question.
I guess so. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has an ethical decision and choice for them to stay healthy and as long as they can, and to be alive as long as they can. So I think that's for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, and
Oh, and one more thing, just to randomly say it. Did you hear about Jeffrey Epstein, the guy who's involved in sex trafficking, and they think he killed himself, but some people think he didn't kill himself? Have you heard about that story?
No.
It was this multimillionaire, maybe even billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein, who was known for kind of arranging sex with underage girls and like really powerful men. I don't know if he ever had sex with them. Maybe he did. And there's conspiracies about, well, did the Clintons go on his plane, or did Trump know him, or did somebody, did like powerful people know him? And a lot of people think because he was found like with like marks on his neck and with something, well, who knows how he was found exactly, but you can see some of the photos, like the marks on his neck. And there was a 60 Minutes thing about it where some people said, this guy probably had a lot of names. Like his life was ruined because of because they found out about this. And he had something similar happen in the past, but he got like an easy break. Like, I mean, he was in trouble, but he got like a break. But they're thinking like he knows names of powerful, famous people, rich people, and that they think someone killed him so he wouldn't talk about it or something like that. Because in his case, at that point, of course, he probably would name names because he had nothing to lose because he was already screwed, you know.
So somebody from the inside killed him?
Well, they don't know. It's suspicious because, like, did the people who were supposed to check on him, were they checking on him? Is there surveillance footage? Was there supposed to be? And do the marks on his neck, are they consistent with how he died? So if you ask people about Jeffrey Epstein, some people think there's a conspiracy, but some people said, no, he killed himself, and the people who worked there, they just did a bad job at checking on him. Like in these suicide watch, or he should have been on suicide watch, the people who took him off suicide watch, or this, or so there's a question of, is it just bad work, or did somebody kill him? So nobody knows. So
I will say this: I believe that if somebody or if higher power wants somebody to stay alive, they will make sure that person will stay alive.
And the flip side, if the higher power wants somebody dead.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think? Go ahead.
I believe, though, if the higher power wants somebody dead, most likely they may get what they want. But I do believe it's more likely if the higher power wants you alive, it'll be a better chance for them to keep you alive than kill you.
Well, when you say so here's an example, and this might not be what you mean. I was thinking, like, if you're president of the United States, do you think you probably could have someone killed for you and get away with it?
Yeah.
And if you have, let's say you're a multi-billionaire, do you think that person might have that power too, just like a super rich person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, this is speculation, but the fact that this guy was arranging things, and well, there's the movie Taken, but I mean, it's probably nothing like the movie Taken. That's an action movie. It's made up. But I wonder how much of like the whole thing of stealing tourists or trafficking, sometimes like little girls and little boys and stuff, like I guess it's still going on. And I don't know is there another billionaire now who's doing what he's doing? And are we going to find out more about it? And are there some political leaders who are involved with it, like people in Congress or presidents, past presidents? So I don't know if you have speculation or if you don't want to play that game about guessing, but anyways.
Nah, I don't want to play that game just because I came to the gym. So. You
just got to the gym? All right, Mike. Well, what would you like to say signing off?
Yeah, I hope you have a great Thursday. What are you having for dinner? Do you even cook?
Sometimes I'll boil water, put some noodles in. I have some leftover fruit. Today is Thursday, isn't it? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope you have a great Thursday. What else you got for me?
Bad Boys 3. I'm going to see it tomorrow or Saturday.
Oh, really? I haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah, well, you don't really need to see the second one, but I'm going to see part 3.
Is this opening weekend?
Where is that?
Is this the opening weekend?
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
So this is January 16th and opening weekend, Bad Boys 3. Cool.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, talk later. Bye.
Bye.